What's good? This is Kareem from DJBooth.net, and I'm here in the lab to give you guys a quick rundown video review of the new Reloop RMX-80 4-channel professional digital DJ mixer. So what we have here is a Reloop 4-channel mixer. Reloop for the past few years has been making some really good DJ equipment. They make excellent DJ controllers. They also make great DJ headphones, and they also make a lot of other products that actually don't get to see the light of day over here in the United States, but they have started to change that, and they're going to bring over more of their products, including turntables. And this is one of their mixers that they're going to bring over. This is their top of the line 4-channel professional DJ club installation style mixer. And you can tell right off the bat that it's very familiar to the layout of the Pioneer DJM series. So anyone who's familiar with the club installation DJM layout of 4-channel mixer, you'll be instantly at home with the RMX-80. You can see here all on the right side you have your master control functions and your effect functions and your big FX on-off button at the bottom. That is very similar to the Pioneer DJM series. You also have your filter knobs and all of your EQs in nice arrangement. They all have very, very solid build quality because underneath these rubberized, locked-on type of caps is metal posts. So you have very, very strong, durable quality there. Your faders also feel very sturdy and durable, and you have this very hunky and heavy metal chassis. So very heavy mixer, definitely built to last. You have good quality all around in the RMX-80. First impressions are very good. Again, you have that robust build quality, and you also have a pretty simple setup. We're going to show you the inputs and outputs on the back. As a side note, this is not a MIDI sending mixer, meaning you can't connect it to your computer to send MIDI information or to map any of the buttons or knobs here. And it also doesn't have an internal DJ sound card, so you won't be able to plug in your timecode decks, or you won't be able to do anything in terms of software manipulation on board with this mixer. So let's go take a deep dive into the inputs and outputs and into everything else that's here on the mixer so we can see what we got. Okay, we'll start off by checking out the inputs and output options on the rear of the mixer. First up, you'll notice that we have the power cable here, standard power cable. Your on-off switch, very heavy-duty switch. You have your USB hub. This is a 3-port hub, so you can plug in your external devices such as hard drives, MIDI controllers, and sound cards. And then you can plug this into your computer here in order to connect your devices. Again, this does not pass any type of MIDI information, or you can't use an internal sound card because there is none. So this is just so you can plug in 3 additional devices. Next up, you have your master balanced XLR output, your booth 1/4 inch, and then your send and returned effects TRS 1/4 inch as well. All the way over to the left, you see your 2 master RCA, your record RCA. Then you have your different channel inputs as well. For channel 1 and 4, you have 2 line level inputs, RCA, and then for 2 and 3, you have your phono and your CD. These phonos are not switchable, so they're always phono. They come with these covers, so you can use them for phono only if you're using your vinyl turntables. And these ones also have their own ground post for your vinyl turntables as well. So on the front, there are also additional connections. They added 2 connections on the front just in case people are not going to use this with a standard installation, and they'll be able to access the front panel. But if you're not, these mic and headphone ports are duplicated on the front of the unit or on the top face. So you have your mic, your second mic, 1/4 inch TRS, and then you have your headphones, which is the small mini 1/8 inch output. Alright everyone, so here it is. This is the RMX-80 Professional Digital 4-Channel +1 from Reloop DJ. So first off, I'm going to show you a quick setup utility menu that this mixer has when you press the channel start and crossfader start at the same time, and you power up the mixer. You enter a setup mode, which allows you to adjust many of the options on the mixer. Up top, the first option that you can adjust is the master stereo or mono, so you can change your master volume to either stereo or mono output. Then you have your limiter, so you can adjust the dB levels of your master volume. So say after time when you're in the club and you're performing and your ears kind of adjust to the loudness of the sound. You don't want to keep turning up your mixer, so there is a limiter that you can set right here within the hardware setup. Next up, you have a cue set mix. You also have a talkover, so you can set the dB loss on the talkover for your microphone. You can also change the ISO of the crossover of the low, mid, and high, so that way you can change the EQ crossover. You also have the LED check mode, so you can check to see if any of your LEDs are bad. You also have a factory reset, so you can reset all of the presets in the utility back to factory, and you also have a firmware update. And so that way they can update the firmware, they can add different effects, they can add different options over time. So you can update this mixer, which is a nice plus. So after you've through that setup utility, we have the rest of the mixer. Turn it on. So we have this solid build quality. You have your 4 channels of mixing capability, plus you have your additional inputs and outputs that I'll go over first and foremost. You have an additional auxiliary input right here on the face of the mixer, right at the top. So if you do have this installed in a club installation, you still have access to your auxiliary port up top, so you can plug in things like iPods or CD players or anything else that's another source. You also have your mic combo port up here, which is an XLR or 1/4-inch TRS, so that way you can plug in the microphone of your choice from the top. Again, they have another connection over here on the bottom for your mic 2. You can choose between this input and this mic input by the aux or the mic switch selector. Then there is the mic level control for volume for mic 1 and aux, or the volume for mic 2. So you have your 2 volume controls separate on this mixer. And then you have a mic EQ that adjusts the high and the lows. And then you have your on-off microphone button, or you can switch it over to talk over as well. That way you can lower the dB level so you can talk over the master that's playing. Next up, you have your cue, so that way you can cue the mic and the aux input at your will whenever you want to hear that in the headphones. There it goes. You have your cue section down here. You have a cue EQ, high, low EQ, so you can adjust the sound of the headphones. Then you can split the cue, meaning when that's on, one of your ear cups will play the master, and one of your other ear cups will play what's in the cue section for your channels. Next up, you have your cue mix fader knob, so you can fade between what's in your cue and what's in the master. And then you have your cue level, which is your volume control. And then you have a headphone output right here on the front, which is the big style 1/4-inch. On the front, you have your your headphone 2, which is a 1/8-inch or mini connector, and you can connect them both at the same time. Okay, next up we'll go through the channels. You have your, all the way at the top, you have your metal post selector switches, so you can select between the inputs on the back. Channel 1 and 4, you have CD and line, and in the middle, channel 2 and 3, you have your phono and your CD. Next up, there are your 3-band EQs. Again, they're spaced very nicely. They all have a nice kind of flexible rubberized coating, but underneath these is a metal post, so you have great durability. Each one of the lines have their own LED VU meter, so that way you can see exactly where your levels are in terms of volume in the mix. And then you have your master VU meters for left and right, so that you can tell exactly where you are in the overall mix. And a nice oversized big master volume control knob up here at the top. You have your booth mono and stereo, so you can switch between your booth mono or stereo. You have your master balance left and right, and then you have your booth separate volume control here. Next up, each of your 4 channels has their own dedicated filter knob. With this, you have low pass to the left, high pass to the right, and then there is a light that comes on to indicate that you are in filter mode. These feel very, very nice. They do have a center click, so they lock in when you're not in filter mode, and they are nice and oversized, and they have the same rubberized coating to them as the others. Next up, you have your buttons to cue. You can cue all of your different channels. You also have a cue option for your master, and then there's a cue option for your effects. We'll go to the effects section in a second. Right now we're at the line faders, which have very good resistance. They really feel like nice quality, and they have a nice long throw to them. So they really feel good, really good for mixing and accurate adjustments. You have your channel fader start button, so that way you can start as you turn your channel faders up if you have a CDJ connected with the fader start in the back, or you can do a crossfader start where you can use your crossfader to start the different decks that are assigned to the different side of the crossfader. You have your crossfader assign buttons here, which allow you to assign each individual channel to either the A side of the crossfader, B side of the crossfader, or for completely through, which means it has no bearing which side the crossfader is on. Just as long as your volume is up on that channel, it will play through the master. Next up, you have your curve adjustment knobs. You have your channel curve adjustment. You can't really scratch with them, but you can change the way in which the curve reacts throughout the fade band. Or you can have your channel fader curve knob, which adjusts all the way from making the fader really quick cut in for your sharp scratching techniques, or you can have it all the way to the right for your long smooth mix. When in scratch mode, you have a very short cut in distance. It really feels like a nice solid fader. It feels like there's metal contacts in there, and it just has a nice short click at the end, and it really feels good. You will be able to do all of your scratches with the fader that's here, but as you can see, it's easily user replaceable, and the Inno fader is readily compatible with this mixer right out of the box. But I'm not exactly sure you'll even need it, because really this fader really is good, and it feels like it's durable, and it really feels like it can get the job done whether scratching or mixing. Next up, you have your effects section. All the way at the top, you have your LED readout display, which shows you where your effect is being enacted upon. Using the knob here, you can assign your effects to channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, or you can assign it to just the mic. You can assign it to the crossfader A side, you can assign it to the crossfader B side, and of course you can assign it to the master. Next up, you have your time length. You can adjust the time length of your effect by using this knob here, or new on this mixer is the quick time knobs that you can go straight to, which will adjust the quarter bar, half bar, 3/4 bar, full bar, 2 bars, 4 bars. So that way you can easily jump through the times without having to scroll through the times using the knob. You also have a tap button. This mixer does a good job of getting your BPM right on the first time, but if it doesn't, you can tap the actual beat in yourself. And next up, you have your beat effects selector knob. All the way at the top, we have flanger, delay, echo, reverb, transformer, pitch shift, loop roll, reverse roll, noise, bit crusher, gate, tape delay, and a send return option, so that way you can use your external effect modules using the in and outs for the return and send of the effect. Alright, so I'll just give you guys a quick demo of the effects. Right now we have the echo effect selected, and we'll see what we get. Yeah.
I don't know why they been lying, but your shit is not even inspired. Making a statement just look like I'm ready for early retirement. Fuck any nigga that's talking this shit just to get a reaction. Fuck going platinum, I looked at my wrist and it's already platinum. I am the kid with the most, no thing to worry about. I don't know who you refer to, what this thing hurt about. Just and put some gay around. Niggas down playing the money, but that's what you doing, the money down. I don't waste time putting money down. Let's go straight to who got it. Pussy so good that you gotta come see me on tour. And this has been years in the making. It's south of the city. They know I come. Cash money records forever. I'm always big time and bitch. I came up, you know it. Jealousy in the air tonight, I could tell. Staying there, but oh well. Being right, don't know about you. She just want home city, home city side we know.
As you can see, when we used the loop roll and the reverse loop, there is an internal memory buffer that will actually remember the bar that you set using the time buttons or the time knob. So whenever we do a loop roll or a reverse loop, you are actually memorizing that loop within the memory on board the RMX-80, and it continues to change it depending on the time variant you select. So in conclusion, the Reloop RMX-80 is a very formidable 4-channel digital DJ mixer, and it's really good for people who are very familiar with the Pioneer DJM layout, but they just don't want to spend as much money as the Pioneer series, and they want to get something that's kind of comparable in feature set, and it also looks the part in terms of complete layout. So it's great for those who are mobile DJs, or great for those in the bedroom that just want a studio standard type mixer with good sound quality, good build quality, and all of your effects modules over here on the side. They're all 13 in total. You also have a good crossfader, which is really good for scratching with a low cut-in distance. And you also have a plethora of input and output options, and you also have the aux input right here on the front face of the mixer, so in case you do have this in some type of club installation, you can easily plug in another device such as an iPod, iPad, anything like that. And you also have your 3-port USB hub on the back, so you can easily plug in your sound cards and you can plug in your different MIDI controllers. On the downside, you don't have any MIDI capability or any internal sound cards, so you guys won't be able to plug in any type of DVS timecode decks or be able to control any software from this mixer. If you can get over that minor gripe and you have your own sound cards and your own controllers and you don't really need a mixer to pass any type of MIDI signal, then you have a really good mixer here that's for 4-channel DJ use, good for club installations, and for those who's looking for an alternative to the Pioneer series or the other big boy mixers out there on the market. So for more on the full written review, you can head on over to www.djbooth.net/DJS, or you can click on the link at the top of this description. And you can also head on over to the site so you can get all of your news, your updates, and everything you guys need related to DJ equipment. Thanks for watching.